Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Food for Thought. Today we are here in Barcelona, Spain, and I wanted to chat about something that it actually pisses me off that is controversial at all, which is fruit. So what's really going on? First, the liver is the area of the body where fructose is processed. So when we consume a large amount of added fructose, such as high fructose corn syrup in sweetened beverages, it can overload the liver and it can increase endogenous lipogenesis, which is the process of producing more fat and cause some inflammation and things like that. However, industrially added fructose is not the same as consuming fructose as part of a whole food, as part of a fruit or a vegetable. And this is where nuance is really important because those foods are packaged differently. Whole fruits come with fructose, yes, but they also come with fiber, they come with water, they come with a bunch of different vitamins and minerals. So they have a really potent antioxidant power. So if we're talking about inflammation, we can't discount the fact that a lot of fruits have anti-inflammatory components. And research actually repeatedly shows that people that consume larger amounts of fruits and vegetables have lower levels of fat in the liver. They have lower incidence of fatty liver and things like that. So nuance is very important here. And this is the thing that I see with the interpretation of studies a lot. They do a study where they give something, because it can be humans or it can be mice, for example, a very large amount of a specific nutrient, and then try to see what are the outcomes of that. And it can create a narrative of like fear mongering, because, for example, with aspartame, if you see the dosages that they give to mice before aspartame can actually cause any harm, you would have to consume a very, 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 very large quantity of aspartame in order to get any issues with it, And I think that it's important to remember that the dosage makes the poison, because you can actually get intoxicated with water. If you drink too much water, it can make your sodium levels go down and it can cause heart issues. So it's not about necessarily the specific nutrient, but we have to take into consideration the nuance, the context of it too. So the problem here is not fructose, is the chronic excessive consumption of very high fructose foods and beverages. Here's the part that I find to be very, very tricky. A diet that is low in fruits and vegetables, that is low in fiber, is associated with so many adverse outcomes, with increased risk of not only metabolic diseases like diabetes and things like that, but also cancers. And in my work as a dietitian, I find that most Americans are not getting enough fruits and vegetables to begin with. So I find it very damaging that there are providers and influencers out there creating a narrative of fear around fruit. We need more of it. We're not having enough. So yes, the liver metabolism of fructose is unique and it has risks in excess, but that doesn't mean that the normal amounts of fructose that are in fruit are toxic for us. So before we get to the end of our conversation today, let's take a look at our destination. We're almost there.
So this is the Basilica de la Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. It was designed by Antoni Gaudí, and it's been under construction for over 140 years. And it's expected to be finally completed sometime next year. Isn't it so pretty?
And the reason why I wanted to do this as a destination is because there are fruits and vegetables as part of the decoration of this church. So the point of the conversation today was nuance. I think that we need to take research into the context of what's really happening in people's lives. And we have to be careful about how we spread that information out there, because it can cause a lot of unnecessary fear, and the misinterpretation can cause a lot of harm, because we have so much research that actually shows that, people are not eating enough fruits and vegetables, and eating more fruits and vegetables is something that is very health protective. And even in cases where fruit consumption is excessive, like this lady that unfortunately passed after being on a strict fruitarian diet for a while, what was really harmful for her was not the fruit itself, was the malnutrition from not getting all the other stuff that she actually needed, adequate calories, adequate protein, and all of that. So I'm going to show you guys around a little bit more inside of the church, and I'll see you next time. Bye.